Farmer found a strange ball in his field, but what was inside made him scream and run. Hand. One day, while walking through his field, he saw something odd. A huge round ball was sitting in the middle of his crops. It was about half his size. At first, he thought it was a giant pumpkin, but he didn't grow pumpkins. The ball smelled strange, like chemicals. Stephen pushed it to the edge of the field and planned to get rid of it later. That night, his hands began to itch. The next morning, Stephen looked outside and froze. His crops were dying. Yellow leaves and dry stems lined the field. He followed the path where the ball had rolled. All the plants it touched were dead. Stephen grabbed his tools and went back to the ball. His hands still burned, so he wore gloves. He hit the ball with a pickaxe. The smell got worse. Then it cracked open, and what came out made him scream. Dead insects poured out. Hundreds of them. They covered the ground around the broken ball. Stephen screamed, dropped his tools, and ran straight to his house. His hands were still burning and itching. He rushed into the bathroom, turned on the hot water, and scrubbed his skin as hard as he could. He used soap and a rough cloth, hoping to wash away anything dangerous. After that, he sat down, still shaking. What had he just touched? Later that day, Stephen visited some of his neighbors. He showed them the photos he had taken of the ball and the insects. Nobody had ever seen anything like it. One neighbor said, "This doesn't look natural." Another added, "You should be careful, Stephen." That's when Stephen started to wonder. Maybe someone had done this to hurt him. One of his friends finally told him, it might be Joshua. Joshua was another farmer nearby. He had been having money problems for a while. People in town had noticed his crops weren't doing well. Some even whispered that Joshua was jealous of Stephen's success. The idea was shocking. Joshua had always been friendly, but now Stephen wasn't sure. Stephen didn't say anything to Joshua. He didn't want to fight, but he couldn't let it go. He picked up the broken pieces of the ball, put on gloves, and carefully carried them to Joshua's land. Late in the evening, when no one was around, he spread the pieces across Joshua's crops. Then he went home and waited. The next morning, the damage was clear. Joshua's crops were dying fast. Yellow leaves, broken stems, and black spots covered the field. Joshua was furious. He stormed over to Stephen's house and yelled, "You did this! You'll pay for this!" But Stephen stayed calm. He said, "I don't know what you're talking about." Joshua kept shouting, but he had no proof. The people in town had already chosen sides. Most of them stood by Stephen. They had seen how hard he worked. They gave him tools, machines, and seeds to help him save what was left of his field. With their help, Stephen planted again. Slowly, the green started to return. Joshua couldn't fix his land. He had to sell his farm and leave the town. Stephen, on the other hand, kept working with pride. He never forgot what happened, but he found peace again, one crop at a time.